We didn't just bring the plants, we brought the people who grow them. Join us for a quick look at the incredible vendors who made our Saturday festival kickoff so special.
Hi, my name is Jim Roop with Monrovia Growers, and I want to kind of give you a little bit of a history and talk to you about Monrovia and why, what makes our plants special and why they do so well in your customer's garden center. So, anyways, Monrovia's been around for 100 years. This is our 100-year anniversary this year, and we were actually one of the first or the first garden center or a grower to actually grow plants in containers. Before that, a lot of your plants were grown in the ground, ball and burlap, etc. And so we started growing them in containers, which made them much easier to ship throughout the country and be available throughout the year versus ball and burlap. Now, things that separate Monrovia growers are is first of all what you see on top. So we do a lot of pruning in our plants. So even at a little liner stage, they get pruned once, they get shifted to a gallon, they get pruned again, makes them nice and full. In this case here, we have a 2 gallon and it's been pruned again, flushed out, ready to ship. So it's a very nice full plant versus what I would call, say, more of a landscape grade, which may be taller, but it's going to be very open and very thin. So that's really what we're known for is pruning a lot of our shrubs to keep them nice and full and give you that beautiful look to them. This here is a Photinia fraseri. It's a very popular plant here in the Prescott area, known for its bright red growth. It comes out in the springtime. Sometimes in the fall too, you get another beautiful flush of growth to it. But also, it's not just what you see on top is what makes Monrovia different too. It's our soil, our dirt underneath, which you don't see. So all of our plants are inoculated with a beneficial mycorrhizae fungi, which helps the roots grow. It helps the plant uptake water. So all of our plants are inoculated with that. And so when this plant goes into the consumer's yard, the beneficial mycorrhizae also go into the customer's yard and into their dirt. So all of our natural soils always have mycorrhizae in them, but a lot of times when a house is being built, etc., they go through and they grade off the topsoil and kind of take out all that beneficial mycorrhizae fungi. So that's why we inoculate everything with it to try to rebuild that beneficial fungal relationship with the plants back into the soil. And also, besides the mycorrhizae, we add a time release fertilizer that is good for a whole year in the plant. So when a consumer takes it home, there actually is enough fertilizer to keep that plant green and growing for up to a whole year. But I obviously still recommend that you start supplementing with your own water's fertilizer uh, on a regular basis as well. Now, just to talk about a few different plants that are kind of ready for this season here is I'll talk about the Indian hawthorns because they're one of the earlier spring plants to bloom. They're evergreen shrubs. They don't lose their leaves. Being evergreen meaning they keep their leaves year round, where if it's deciduous, it will lose its leaves. So all of your Indian hawthorns are evergreen. They keep their leaves. This one here is called Majestic Beauty. It's one of the largest ones. This one here is actually one of our patents, one of our landscape legend plants. This one's just getting ready to bloom here, probably in another week and a half. It's going to be blooming. Has beautiful large pink flowers to it. Now this is a larger shrub. It can get up to 6-8 feet tall if you let it. It can be kept pruned back a little bit as well, but it is kind of a large plant. But there's different types of Indian hawthorns for different needs. Another one here. This is called Georgia Petite. This is a much smaller one, grows up to about 3 to 4 feet high, 3 to 4 feet wide. This one has beautiful white flowers and it grows in a very compact mounding habit. Once again, this is just about ready to pop with color. So it's one of your earlier, it's a good spring shrub, flowering shrub. So, when you're gardening, you like to have plants that are going to be blooming in the spring. So you have flowers in the spring. maybe later spring, early summer, to get some shrubs for there. There's even, shrubs for fall. So when you're kind of planning your garden design, it's always nice to have something that's going to be blooming almost, much of the growing season. So you have as much color as possible. This size here, since it's smaller, makes a great container plant too. All your Indian hawthorns do great in full sun. I'd recommend more sun the better. Wouldn't put them in deep shade, more full sun. They take the heat well here. And this Indian hawthorn is another variety of Indian hawthorn. It's called ballerina. Now, this is probably the most popular one because it's a compact plant, about 3 to 3 feet tall as well, 3 feet wide, with pink flowers to it. And so it's probably one of the more popular Indian hawthorns that we grow. So once again, as you can see, it's very compact. It's very full how we grow it, and it naturally kind of grows in a more compact mound shape. So once again, so these are three selections for if you're looking for early spring flowers. The Indian hawthorns are great plants for that. Now, Prescott's kind of an interesting climate. It's a good climate to grow in because we're cold enough. A lot of those plants that need cold, like lilacs, forsythia, a lot of your perennials, fruit trees, they get enough chill and cold that they do well here. But we're not that cold where a lot of plants you wouldn't think they'd live here, but they do actually live here. And probably one of the more surprising ones is camellias. This one here, this one it has a pink bloom to it. This is part of the Ice Angel series. They come in a white flower, they come in a red flower, and a pink flower. And they're a zone 6, so they're actually good down to zero, close to 0 degrees, 0 to 10 degrees. So, and they like the heat. They don't like the sun though. So they do well in a warm area, shaded area, but you don't want a lot of direct sun on them. If it's morning or late afternoon, that's fine, but you don't want sun on them all day. You want to have more of a filtered light shade. Now, camellias to me, they do well in a pot, a big pot. And or you can put them in the ground too, but they like more of an acidic soil. So you want to make sure you're fertilizing with a acidic type fertilizer. And I know Waters carries one here that's specifically for acidic plants, for camellias, rhododendrons, and azaleas. So you want to make sure you're just always fertilizing with a fertilizer that's for acidic plants. So yeah, just kind of a lot of people don't think that a camellia would live in this area, but there are camellias that do actually quite well here. Another surprising plant that a lot of people don't think would bloom here is a southern magnolia that grows and blooms here. This one's called Alta. It's more of a kind of a somewhat pyramidal shape. Here, it's probably going to get up to about 25, 30 feet in our climate here, slow growing. It still has magnolias are known for their large white bloom that's very fragrant, kind of a citrusy smell, but they get a large bloom to them. And this tree, even though it's a little more dwarf, it still gets that very large flower like a regular giant southern magnolia tree. But a lot of people just don't think of them as living here because we're colder and we get snow and stuff like that. Whereas they think of a magnolia as something you find in Louisiana, Alabama, Texas, places like that. But there are a couple of varieties that are very cold hardy. This one is a zone 6, so it goes down to 0 degrees easily. Has the smaller leaves, is why I really like the Alta, is because if it does get snow, you get a heavy snow, 6, 8 inches. The leaves aren't so big that they're going to be collecting a lot of snow and possibly causing breakage. So that's why I really like the smaller leaves on the Alta, etc. Probably not a plant that if you have customers that are up high in the pines where you do get real heavy snows and it's colder, I wouldn't recommend them for there. I'd recommend them more for Prescott proper and anywhere else. And it does great in the desert too. So if you got customers that are down in Congress, Dewey, Prescott Valley, Cottonwood, the magnolias do actually very well. I sell them even in the desert in Phoenix and Tucson. That's how much heat and sun they take. So it's a great plant tree that a lot of people don't think will grow here. And being a smaller tree with some of the smaller yards, that the Magnolia Alta makes a great tree for a smaller yard. It's not going to get real wide. Um, and not going to get too big for smaller yards if somebody has a smaller yard. Evergreen keeps its leaves year round too, so that's another benefit to it. Next one here is the rock rose purple, Cistus purpureus. Purple rock rose is what we'll just call it. It's a This one I'd classify as not more drought tolerant, heat tolerant. So if somebody's looking for something a little more xeriscape or a real hot area, this is a great plant. The uh, the rock rose. This one has beautiful pink flowers to it. It is evergreen. All you have to do is maybe once a year you kind of cut it back, keep it shape and full. But if you got a real hot area in your yard, this is a great plant for that. And probably in the winter, if you have an area that is sunny in the winter, getting that south sun, it'll even do better for you. I wouldn't recommend it for your customers to put it in a north side where it's not going to get any sun in the winter time, but keep it more in an area that's going to get a lot of hot sun um, through the summer. And like I say, in the wintertime, if it's getting sun, it's beneficial. So, like I say, if it's a great plant for those looking for something that's blooms and takes the heat, the rock rose is great for that. Drought tolerant once it's established. Next, I want to talk about this is a new rose that we started growing last year. It's called Heavily Ascent Pink Rose, Heavily Ascent Pink. Now, this is a climber. It's not a real tall climber. It's maybe about a 10-foot climber, so it's not going to be overwhelming and vigorous like some of the climbing roses. And most importantly, it has a nice fragrance to it. A lot of your climbing roses really don't have much fragrance, but this one does. And it's a smaller, more compact vine, if you would call it. It's not going to be overpowering and overwhelming in one's yard. You could actually even put it in a container, I think, if you wanted to train it on something as well. But yeah, nice pink flowers that are fragrant. And this is new. There's also, it has a brother that's red as well. So they come in a pink and a red, the Heavenly Ascent. Now, if you got customers that are looking for bulletproof, no deer will bother them, no javelina will bother them, it's your sages. Very common. Um, Sell a lot of them here. They're always coming out with some new colors. This one is radio red. It's been out for a while. But we also have one. Let me find it. There's another one. It's called Cranberry that's just out now, and it's got a little bit darker flower to it than the Radio Red. Radio Red's kind of more of a fire engine, kind of bright, and the Cranberry is darker. So they're always coming out with new color flowers. Like the Russians, the autumn sages, like say, if you got a customer, it's like, I give up, deer eating my plants, javelina are eating my plants, just go to the autumn sage. It's just a bulletproof plant here, full sun. All they have to do is cut it back in the winter after it kind of goes dormant. It'll lose its leaves a little bit. Cut it back in like January, February. It comes out with new growth, and they flower almost all year long. All summer long during their season. The red flowers really attract the hummingbirds. Hummingbirds love these. Bees love these as well. So it's a good pollinator plant. And if you want to have a hummingbird garden, uh, your sages are perfect for that. And another type of sage. This one's not blooming yet, but it's called a Cleveland sage. This one here is called Pozo Blue, but it's a Cleveland type sage. And if you kind of smell the foliage, it's just wonderful smell, just a beautiful sage smell to it. But when it blooms, it gets these long flower spikes with little whorls of blue flowers on them. And the bees love this. The bees absolutely love the Cleveland type sage. There's several different types of Cleveland sage that you carry a few different varieties. But if you're looking for a pollinator plant and something that the javelina aren't going to bother, the deer aren't going to bother, it's the Cleveland sage. Loves a hot area, hottest area you can give it, full sun. This is another one that can take the lower elevations of Congress, Dewey, Cottonwood. It would do well in those areas as well. So, anyways, two different types of plants. The sages, they're great for those bulletproof areas where you just need to nothing will bother them. So, and they also make great container plants. Either one can make a great container plant as well. This a new plant we're carrying this year. It's called Petite Indigo Ruby New Zealand Flax. Most flax we've kind of stayed away from here because they're more of a zone 8, a little marginal if they're hardy enough. But this one is a zone 7. It's a very petite one, only gets probably about 12 inches tall. So I think it's great to use, especially as a container plant. I could really see it be used in a container plant, and you could plant other stuff around it as well. Or if you need just a real low border area, this you could plant it there as well. Probably going to say filtered shade on this. I don't think I'd put it in full sun, but somebody's got some filtered shade, morning sun, afternoon, it'd probably be fine. But I don't think I'd have a hot reflected area, sun all day. Probably be too much sun for it. But as you can see, the main attraction is the foliage on it. It's got the red striping on the edges against the maroon. Very pretty, and it stays nice and compact. And it's kind of nice to have a flax that's hardy for our zone, this being zone 7, so 0 to 10 degrees. If you got customers looking for a vine for full sun that's evergreen, keeps its leaves year round, the Tangerine Beauty vine is a great vine. This one is one of your more earlier blooming spring vines. Going to probably start blooming in mid to late April here. You can see it's got these pretty orange flowers, very tubular, so the hummingbirds really like these as well. In the wintertime, it will kind of go, most of the leaves will stay on, they'll get kind of maroon color to them. Then as soon as it starts warming up, you'll get all the new growth, and the leaves that were maroon will start greening up, and you start getting new growth. So if people are looking for a vine that's more on the evergreen side, that's going to bloom, the Tangerine Beauty Cross Vine is the great vine to direct them to.
Community is what grows the best gardens. Thank you to our amazing vendors and everyone who spent their Saturday with us. We're open 7 days a week to help your garden thrive. Come see us.